let's say I'm a team member who is quiet quitting.
Yeah.
I'm acting my wage. I've got this kind of attitude, and you're the leader.
Yeah.
How do you as the leader address this in the right way?
Well, I want to find out, why are you quiet quitting? So what's the source of your disengagement? So we're going to look at the 3 human needs that I laid out earlier. And so I'd go sit down with them, and you can write it out, and you can just go through it and go, hey, do you feel a sense of purpose and meaning? How meaningful is your current job to you? And you're not going to be in trouble. I just really want to know, because I may not have done a good job of getting you on the right seat of the bus. Is that a big part of it? Now, that's a way to ask that question, because you're hopefully making them feel safe to go, this is probably, the reason I ask this question is this would be on me. If you don't feel a sense of meaning or purpose in this work, the first thing I got to do is look at me and go, oh, okay, well, then what would the right seat on the bus look like for you here? Do I have it? If I don't have it, can I create it? If I can't create it, you know what? I'm going to give you a really good severance package and help you find something.
Wow. That's a healthy leader right there.
Very healthy.
But some bad bossery would be, I'm going to put you on the defense immediately and
Absolutely.
call you out on
What's
this.
wrong? Why aren't you working hard? All I see is this, and this. Why is that going on? You know, I've did some great counseling with a guy who was just working on me in my personal life. It was so fantastic, and so one of the things he was coaching me on in my parenting is he said to me, he says, stop asking your kids why questions, because when you say why to one of your kids, why did you do this, or why are you doing this, or why are you acting this way, it immediately puts them on the defensive. And so instead of a healthy conversation to get to the source of it, all they do is they begin to defend it with stuff that's up here and not, it's all surface. And he says, you want to be asking what questions? You know, so what were you feeling when that happened? What happened to you? And now you see the person's not on the defensive, because when you just say why, you have to, well, here's why.
I need a reason.
Versus what. And then they begin to describe what they were feeling, what was happening in the moment.
It gets to the root of the actual problem.
You start to get to the root. What questions take a person off the defensive? So that's how I would approach that. And then again, you just really quickly to review the 3 human needs. So we've asked the meaning, purpose question. Then we're going to go, hey, do you feel like you're being recognized? Do you feel valued here? Oh, you got to be okay with the answers, but you got to ask it. And then you got to go, how would you describe your relationship with me or your boss? You got to do that, because again, that's going to unpack what's at the source of the disengagement.
Yeah.
Then you can decide if you can address it, and then how to address it.
So that's on a micro level. On a macro level, as we kind of zoom out, what is the overall solution to this culture that's going, hey, I'm going to go jump to the next place who's going to pay me $1 more? Is there a solution that leaders listening can go, okay, this is what I can do with my team. This can solve a lot of small business owners' problems out there?
Yeah, but I want to point out that there's no way you're going to keep everybody. I mean, some people are just going to be the tumbleweeds of life, you know, like in the Western movie,
They just float on by.
and he's floating through the street. You know, you're not going to be able to make this, tumbleweed proof. But what you're going to see is you're going to see higher retention is what we're talking about, employee retention. So here's the solve culturally. Leaders have to have those 3 human needs in mind when they're advertising for a position. Like when you're advertising for a marketing position, you need to write the job description in a way that someone who really wants to do marketing will feel like, wait a second, this is the right seat for me, right? And so you've got a values-based job description, and the way you talk about the company and the way that you say we value people. So you first start taking care of the people you have. And start this process with the people you have. They're going to help you go get the people you need. I said that at an event, I guess 2 years ago now. My gosh, no, it was in this last May. It was like, take care of the people. If you take care of the people you have, you won't have to worry about getting the people you need. Mm-hmm. And so everything I just described is we start internally, then externally we start talking. In the interview process, we start asking questions. If this role and the results of this role. Will that mean something to you? That's that meaning purpose question. How do you like to be recognized? Ask them the question in the interview.
It's a great question.
And then go, what is the right relationship? Have you ever had a good relationship with your leader? And if you were going to describe a healthy relationship with someone who's going to lead you every day, what would that look like? Like, ask those questions. And so we're beginning to build a profile on everybody we interview and everybody we lead. And I think that's going to help with this engagement conversation, because here's what happens. Now, all of a sudden, we have a mindful culture Because from the leader, from the top, and all your other leaders, we're not looking at people as assets anymore. We're looking at people as human beings who want to thrive in their life. And they spend more time at work than any other area of their life. So if you want to keep people, if you want to get the best out of people, look inward to those 3 needs. Are you meeting them? And if you are, they're going to start telling other people, you've never worked at a place like this before. It really is that simple. Now, simplicity as I lay it out, and simplicity in what we have to do as a leadership team. But I would say it's going to be difficult because you're going to have to be very intentional to do this. But my gosh, it ought to be on every whiteboard in every leader's office so they look at it every day. And I would challenge leaders to write the question, am I meeting my team's needs? Purpose and meaning, recognizing their unique contribution, having a real relationship with them.
Easier said than done, but it's so worth it.
I mean, it's not that hard. And the way it's going to take time and effort, but the simplicity of it it's right there in front of you. And I got to tell you, the companies that figure this out are going to crush the competition. They're not going to have a problem keeping people, and they're not going to have a problem recruiting people.